Hey friends, welcome to Seek Inwards channel. I'm Kiana and I have for you part 2 of the Medicine Wheel Yoga series. We are connecting with the energy of the South. Please feel free to grab a compass or download a compass on your phone to help orient you with the direction of the South, as we'll be beginning with our mats in that direction. And this will be a practice that builds a bit of heat, so remember to listen to your body. Remember that you can use props like blocks or bolsters or pillows, anything that's going to help support you in your practice. So we will go ahead and get started. I will meet you on the mat. See you soon.
Seek Inwards is not a licensed physician or healthcare provider. Please consult your physician regarding any recommendations, applications of exercise, physical activity, herbs, and/or alternative health lifestyle tips before beginning or implementing any program or suggestions shared on this channel. This channel is only for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is up to your own discretion to determine your capability in participating in any physical activity. Seek Inwards and/or Kiana Frederick will not be held reliable for any possible injuries. If you engage in any exercise program, you agree that you are doing so at your own risk and are assuming all risk of injury to yourself. All techniques and suggestions shared are not to be replaced or substituted for proper medical care. Meditation, yoga, herbs, and alternative lifestyle practices can be implemented as part of the overall treatment plan when monitored by a trusted healthcare professional.
Welcome back to the Medicine Wheel Yoga series. We have completed our sequence in the east and we're now in the south. So the medicine of the south is associated with the element of fire and our inner child and our passion. And a little bit lighter. The south energy we can associate with the color red, with our passion, with our inner child. The season of summer with playfulness and family, deep family connections and love. If you haven't already, we will orient our mats to face the direction of the south. And we will begin with Ujjayi breath first to get us connected to being able to bring a sense of calm in times that may feel very forced or stressful. So Ujjayi breath sounds very much like when you're breathing to fog up a window or a mirror. And we're going to do 3 of these. So we will begin first by opening the mouth, and as if you're breathing on a window, you're going to create restriction in the back of the throat here. And for our inhales, it will be the same. I find this easier to do with the mouth closed when you're practicing the inhale. So closing the mouth and creating that restriction in the back of the throat and inhaling here. And then we can practice with our exhales with the mouth closed this time. We'll do this a couple more times. So it may feel funny at first, but this is a great breath to use when we are in stressful situations to bring our nervous system back into a state of rest and digest when we're in a state of fight or flight. So we'll take 3 Ujjayi breaths. We'll begin with a normal inhale, normal exhale, and we'll begin with Ujjayi breath, inhale. And you want that breath to get all the way down to the bottom, to that belly, expanding the belly. And return back to normal breath, normal breathing. Notice if you feel a difference, that you are doing the work to bring yourself back into a state of centeredness and calm. So returning back to your breath, we will go ahead and lie down on our backs. Palms face up for receiving or face down for grounding, your choice here. And we'll shut the eyes down. Begin to visualize the color red in your mind's eye. And oftentimes, the direction of the south, you'll find the animal ally as wolf, or for me, coyote. So I invite you to welcome in any four-legged ally here. It may be your pet, your dog, your cat, or anything that connects you to a sense of your inner child. Continuing to connect to your breath here, keeping the eyes shut down. I will read the affirmation or the prayer for the direction of the south, and I invite you to repeat these words, this prayer, inwardly towards yourself. Spirit keeper of the south, place where water runs free, where the whole world is green, where your gift of youthful eyes and unlimited possibility awaits me. I ask you to join in my circle now. The power of the South is the power of an open heart, the power of relationships and loving. I ask you to come into my life and teach me to love. Help me to open my heart as the seed which must open itself to earth, water, and sky in order to grow. Remind me that to stay closed is even more painful than to be open. Help me to rid myself of hate, jealousy, envy, and fear. I see that these feelings make me grow smaller and weaker and lose my light and power. Relationships are the tapestry of our lives. Teach me, power of the South, to learn through my relationships. Understand why I have the relationships that I do, and show me how to guide my relationships to their highest good. Letting the words settle over your body and your senses here, taking the medicine that's needed, leaving the rest. And if you have a block handy, we'll grab a block. Begin to bend the knees towards the sky, placing the feet on the earth. We'll keep the hands alongside the body, pressing into our foundation, rolling the shoulder blades underneath and in towards each other. And we're going to lift the hips up towards the sky, connecting to our inhales and our exhales. So we'll do this 5 times, connecting to our inhales and exhales. Pressing into the foundation. If you have a block handy, you can put the block between the legs longwise, and that will allow you to create some pressure as you lift the hips, powering up through the legs. So you can choose to place a block between the legs. Inhale, press into your foundation, pressing the feet and the backs of the arms as you raise your hips towards the sky. Exhale, lower down, release, slowly articulating the spine back down onto the mat. 4 more times, raising the hips up towards the sky, inhaling. Exhale, release all the way down. 3, raising the hips towards the sky, feeling that power through the legs. Exhale all the way back down. 4, raising those hips, creating that heat, that playfulness. Lowering the hips all the way back down towards the earth. Last time, raising those hips towards the sky. We'll stay here for 10 seconds. Connecting to that breath. 10, 9, 8, connect to that foundation. 7, 6, 5, so actually 3, 2, 1, release down to the earth. Tuning into your breath here, connecting back. Release the block from between the legs if you have it. You can place it underneath the sacrum and allow your hips to be raised in more of a restorative posture here. If not, bring the spine back down all the way to the earth onto our mats. Whether you have a block or not, you can extend one leg forward, allowing for that opening, that stretch in the front body. And if you feel comfortable, releasing that other leg forward. If you feel any tension, back up out of the pose or release the block. Give yourself more support where it's needed. Option to raise the arms above the head and allow them to lay back behind us if that feels good for more opening. As I was creating this sequence, something came to mind, and it's as if we close in order to remember how to open. Go ahead and remove the block from behind if you have it, and we'll release into corpse pose, keeping the spine long, just settling into the earth here. Bring the feet up onto the mat, bending the knees towards the sky. We'll lift and do figure fours on each side. So starting with the right leg, we'll cross the right ankle over top the left knee. Take the arms to interlace behind the back of the left leg. Press into the right leg or the right thigh with that right elbow to create some more of that push and pull dynamic here, helping us to release even further into the pose. Staying connected to your breath. Deep inhales and exhales, allowing your inhales to fill that space and allowing your exhales to release that tension. So 3 to 5 breaths here. You can create a little sway if that feels good for you. And keeping the legs how they are, allow them to fall over to the left completely as the top of your body or your torso stays facing straight up, or you can bring the arms out to the side and turn the head to the right. A nice twist. Go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. We will take figure four pose on the left side with the left leg crossing on top of the right knee. Interlace your arms behind the right leg. Press your left elbow into that left thigh. 3 to 5 breaths here. Creating a little bit of movement or staying still. Opening up through those hips. And we'll go ahead and release into that twist. Twist on the right side, letting the knees fall in the same shape to the right. Bring the arms out to either side, keeping the torso face up or center. And you can turn your head to the left if that feels good for you. I'm grabbing a hold of my left ankle with my right hand, and that can feel wonderful. And we'll roll back to center. Make your way up to sitting with the knees bent, so towards the sky, feet are on the earth. Bring your hands behind you. Fingers are facing towards the bottom of the mat. Make sure your chest is comfortably able to open up, or you're not putting too much tension in your shoulders here. If you feel like you're creating too much tension or any pain, walk a little bit closer towards your hips. And with the knees bent, we'll let the legs fall to the right, keeping the chest center, breathing into that lower belly. Exhale, back to center. Inhale to the left. Exhale, back to center. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to the left. Exhale, back to center. And we're going to switch our breathing now. So take an inhale here. Exhale to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, back to center. And we'll make our way to tabletop. So as we're in tabletop, we're going to tuck the toes under. And if you want to blanket the knees, you can take a blanket and roll it up, take a pillow and place it underneath the knees, or you can roll your mat to protect the knees here. You can also take a block and place it under your bum to support your knees a little bit better. And we're going to sit back onto the heels for Hero's Pose variation. And this is a pretty intense stretch for most people in the soles of the feet and the toes. So tuning into your breath here as we create that heat in the bottom of the feet. So we'll take 5 breaths here. Lengthening the spine towards the sky, rolling the shoulders up and back down the spine. Notice if your mind is wandering, come back to your breath. And go ahead and remove any props that you have. If you have your block or blanket or mat, you can go ahead and remove that. Come back to tabletop for just a moment, and we can kind of pad the tops of the feet out. Bring the left leg forward, and you can grab a block here to support you or raise you higher off the ground. We're going to extend the left leg forward, toes pointing up towards the sky. Bring this right knee back level with the hip. And we're going for a hamstring stretch here, so if you need some blocks to raise you up off the ground a little bit higher, go ahead and do that, keeping the spine lengthened. And breathing into that belly of this thigh muscle here. Tuning into your breath, remembering to breathe all the way down into the belly, full expansion. And exhale, find a softening of the body, releasing of the tension in the body. Remember I just noticed that my knee was a little more forward than my hip, so remember to check your hips, make sure that they're aligned with your knees. You can move the heel of the extended leg more out in front of you, more forward towards the front of the mat, or slide it back. Whatever you need to do to adjust to your body shape. Everyone's will be different. Hips are square. We'll begin to lunge forward, bending that left knee and extending through the right side. Staying up, fingertips tented on the ground, lifting the head and chest forward. Exhale, let's flow back into that lunge. A few more times, we'll inhale forward, exhale back. Last time, inhaling forward, exhale all the way back. And we'll inhale forward again, finding some playfulness here. We're going to plant our palms on the earth. Tuck that right toe underneath, power up through that back leg, and we'll bring the left foot to meet the back right foot. And you'll notice that we're in plank. So we're gonna hold here for 3 breaths. Tuning into that strength, creating that heat. And exhale all the way down, back to tabletop. And this time we'll extend the right leg forward, coming into that hamstring stretch on the right side. Notice where your hips are in comparison to your knees. Make sure that your knee and your hip are aligned. And be sure to keep a micro bend in the knees here. And connecting to the breath. Allowing those inhales to fill up the space, those areas of tension. Bring some light in those areas and letting your exhales release that tension in the body. You might notice that you can come a little bit lower as your body begins to warm up, stretch. Don't go past your edge. You don't want to feel any pain. So if you do back up and back off out of the pose. Just meeting your edge. And on your next inhale, we will lunge forward with the right foot in front, extending through the left foot, or through that left leg, feeling that stretch in the hips here. Exhaling back into that split hamstring stretch. Inhaling back into that lunge. Chest forward and up. Exhale. And coming back to that lunge. Forward. Press into your foundation. Press the palms into the earth. And we'll bring that right foot back into tabletop. Cross the feet behind you. And sit over the heels. Back into easy seat. So we're going to bring the legs out in front of us, but we're going to let the knees fall to the sides here. While lengthening the spine, we're going to take both of our wrists and slide them underneath the calves. So slowly inching the hands forward underneath our legs, remembering to keep that length in the spine first. And you may be up here, that's totally fine. You may be a little bit lower. This is called tortoise pose. And you may find that you can round the head forward a bit after you've found that length in your spine. Another option here is to take the block, if you have a block, and bring your feet together as if in butterfly pose. You can have your feet further towards the end of the mat or closer to you, and stand the block up longwise. Place it on the soles of the feet and rest your head on the top of the block here. So that's another option for you. And if neither of those feel good, feel free to come to child's pose. We're going to be here for a moment and shutting the eyes down. I invite you to repeat the remainder of this prayer inward toward yourself. You give your gift, Spirit Keeper of the South, the power of trust and innocence, the power to see with youthful eyes and respond to life with youthful flexibility. Remind me of youthful joy, for the power of joy is also the power of playfulness and humor. Teach me most of all to trust. I know that without trust, life is hollow and empty. Teach me to trust and respect myself, first of all. Then I can trust and respect others. As I learn to trust, I will learn to love and to explore my relationships. I see I must be fully open to whatever nourishes my growth, so that I may follow my path and bear fruit. Teach me, South Spirit, to know who I am, to know who I want to be, and to take steps towards my own development. Guide my heart and my mind to work together in balance, and help me to use both for my highest good and the highest good of all others. Allowing the words to settle over you here. And from whatever pose you're in, we are going to come into reclined butterfly pose. So you might want to grab a couple blocks or a couple pillows for each side of the legs. Place the feet together, reclining slowly onto the backs. Tucking the shoulders in and towards each other. Hands can be placed on the thighs or upwards on the earth, palms face up or face down for grounding. And you can shut the eyes down here, returning to your breath, your rhythm. Tuning into that inner child, that playfulness, that warmth and love. Youthfulness and innocence. And I invite you to reach your arms up towards the sky and turn your hands back in and towards yourself, embracing yourself, and tuck them under the shoulder blades of the back. Breathing deeply here, full belly breaths and full exhales, keeping the eyes shut down and tuning into what it feels like to embrace yourself, noticing if you're uncomfortable, noticing if you've softened, just noticing what comes up, knowing that there's no right or wrong, and that your curiosity and your observation is the most sacred gift you can give yourself. This time that you are holding for yourself to just be. Start to come back into your breath. Deeper inhales and exhales. Release the arms, straighten out the legs. And we'll bend our knees, make our way back up to easy seat. However you get there is fine. And just take a moment to tune in here. Notice your breath. Notice any sensations, any emotions or colors or sounds, messages you may have received throughout this practice. Thank you for your time. Thank your guides. Thank yourself. for being here today. Bring the hands to heart center here. And we'll bow forward with gratitude. So thank you for following me, letting me guide you through the second part of our series of Medicine Wheel Yoga, connecting to the energy of the self. If you want to continue on this journey, we will be going through the medicine of the West next. So you can head on over there. Otherwise, have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you.